A building engulfed in roaring flames. A man set fire to it, causing catastrophic loss of life. That man was Shinji Aoba, then 41 years old. Why did he commit such an atrocity? We uncover the mystery behind his actions. May 1978, Saitama Prefecture, Shinji Aoba, the man who would later shake the nation, was born the second of 3 children. At a glance, he was an ordinary active boy. However, his reality began to quietly yet certainly collapse after his parents divorced when he was 9. Life with his father was brutal. His father lost his job, and their home filled with garbage, becoming a so-called trash house, where the boy lost his connection to society. On top of poverty, there was insane abuse. He was made to stand outside in the freezing winter in his underwear as his father poured cold water over him. One day, when he happily brought home a trophy from a judo tournament, his father coldly told him, "Go burn it." These words from his father smoldered as a dark flame in his heart, one that would eventually turn into an uncontrollable inferno directed at others. In junior high, he stopped going to school. But there was one period when a light shone on his life: night high school. He worked as a temp by day and studied in the front row by night. Teachers liked him. He enjoyed music with his modest salary. Ordinary happiness was truly there. But that light did not last long. After graduating, he failed to become a musician. He changed jobs repeatedly, wearing down his spirit. Then in June 2012, he snapped. Desperate, he robbed a convenience store with a knife. The cash he stole was only 21,000 yen. His motive was short-sighted. "I wanted money to play." During interrogation, he revealed a dark thought. "I thought about spreading gasoline and burning my family to death." Gasoline and burn. The idea of destroying everything with fire was already in his mind. He was sent to prison, but inside, instead of reflecting, he fell into a hell of delusions. "Dark figures are targeting me." Diagnosed with schizophrenia, his only hope was writing novels. Inside the cold prison walls, he kept writing. He wrote down an unrealistic ambition: debut as a writer in 1 year, buy a house in 5, become a master in 10. January 2016, Shinji Aoba was released. Living on welfare, he was sustained by the novels he had written behind bars. Then a big chance arrived: the Kyoto Animation Awards. This award is organized by Kyoto Animation, the studio behind masterpieces like K-On!, Violet Evergarden, and A Silent Voice. If he won, his work could be published as a book or adapted into an anime. For Aoba, this was the perfect opportunity. With high hopes, he submitted 2 novels. But reality was cruel. He received a rejection notice. Unable to accept this, he altered the works and posted them on Japan's largest web novel site. But there was no reaction, not a single reader. Society had no interest in him, and he began to close the door on society. January 2018. Cornered mentally, he burned his precious idea notebook with his own hands. As the paper burned, his dream turned to ash. All that remained was paranoia and uncontrollable violent impulses. Then, the gears of fate broke completely. November 2018, he saw a Kyoto Animation anime on TV. He trembled, then raged. They stole it. He believed his ideas were used without permission. It was a baseless delusion, but isolated from reality. His suspicion turned into hatred. "My life is a failure because of Kyoto Animation." He could not forgive them. He decided the employees were jointly responsible. Driven by this unreasonable logic, he resolved to take revenge. July 15, 2019, he left his home, boarded the bullet train, and headed for Kyoto, where Studio One stood. July 18, 2019, 3 days after Shinji Aoba arrived. At Studio One, creators were at their desks, spinning stories for the world. But that routine was severed in an instant by one man's senseless malice. Just past 10 a.m., security cameras captured Shinji Aoba pushing a cart loaded with gasoline. 10:31 a.m., Shinji Aoba appeared at the entrance. In his hands, 2 buckets filled to the brim. He walked in and immediately dumped the gasoline. 10 to 15 liters splashed across the floor. A sudden smell, droplets in the air. Just as the employees wondered what was happening, the man threw down the buckets, held out a lighter, and screamed, "Die." Instantly, an explosive combustion occurred. Vaporized gas mixed with air, causing an orange flame to race to the ceiling. The heat wave swallowed everything. From entry to ignition, it took only 10 to 20 seconds. No time to run, no time to scream. It was an atrocity too fast to comprehend. The building's structure made the damage fatal. The beautiful spiral staircase connecting the floors acted as a deadly chimney. According to experts, toxic smoke reached the third floor in just 5 seconds. In 15 seconds, the heat exceeded 100 degrees Celsius. By 30 seconds, the upper floors were a pitch-black space where breathing was impossible. Vision stolen, burned by hot air. The time to evacuate was effectively 0. The most lives were lost on the stairs from the third floor to the roof. 20 precious souls perished there. Most were found piled upon one another on those few steps. Why couldn't they escape? It is believed that by the time they reached the door, smoke had already blinded and suffocated them. A few more meters, one last door. That tiny distance became an eternal barrier. Later, a survivor testified, 30 seconds after the explosion, everything went black. The final toll, 36 dead, 33 injured. Among them were creators who had led Japan's anime industry. Of the 70 employees present, only one escaped unharmed. It was a loss too great to measure. But the victims weren't the only ones pulled from the hellscape. The perpetrator, Shinji Aoba, suffered burns over 90% of his body. He was carried out near death. Through the desperate efforts of doctors, he was brought back to life, to face justice. September 2023, 4 years later, Shinji Aoba appeared in Kyoto District Court. Having survived through multiple skin grafts, he faced the stand in a wheelchair. The issue was responsibility. The defense argued innocence due to insanity. The prosecution demanded the death penalty, citing full capability. In court, his inner world was still ruled by his own logic. Kyoto stole my novel. He justified his delusions, maintaining the stance that he was the victim. January 25, 2024, the day of the verdict. The court sentenced him to death. The judge declared an unprecedented number of victims in Japanese history. A cruel mass murder unlike any other. While acknowledging his delusions influenced his motive, the court ruled he chose the crime of his own will. Full responsibility was recognized.